So yeah, I just wanted to show an app that I've already showed on YouTube before. This was an app building project for a friend of mine, and I took the opportunity to make a YouTube video out of it, just to show how you can throw together a front end application in like 0 time with Noodle. So I think a lot of people these days are coming into the Noodle space and getting a bit stuck on the whole backend question, having to set up like a Postgres and Directus, or a MongoDB and Parse for the Noodle backend, or Supabase and Postgres, or whatever your preferred backend is. This is more of an example of something where I'm not going to use a backend right from the out of the gate. I just want to have something that does what I wanted to do, which is just to play a radio station for a friend of mine who wanted to play the radio station on his phone on something that looks a bit nicer than the radio station doesn't actually have a site themselves. They have a stream, but they stream through other websites, like kind of aggregation websites for radio, and they're really ugly and they don't really work very well. So this is just a way for him. I published this to Vercel just for him to be able to listen to this while he works. And the concept is really basic, but it made me work on a couple of things that I think are worth talking about. For example, it got me working on the Lottie module, which I think is in modules somewhere. So the Lottie module gives you a Lottie animation. It's pretty simple. Like I found it a little bit difficult to manage the size of the animation, because it kind of loads it up. You download the JSON Lottie animation. I was actually using Lottie files. You sign up for that, you can get free Lottie files. There's a lot of premium ones, obviously, but there's quite a few free ones as well, which is cool. And I think I used this one, and so it's just a question of downloading the JSON that you want from that Lottie. I think you can make a lot of changes to it before you download too, like the speed and stuff like that. And you download the Lottie JSON at the end. It's not that big, 181 kilobytes. It's fine. I guess you don't want to have loads of them all over the page, because that would be you're going to get quite big at that point. I don't know if we can use anything like .lottie. I'm not sure if that works. Probably you'd have to make your own module for that. But I guess it's probably even not that difficult a thing to make your own module for, because you're just storing the Lottie file in your project folder. Where did I put it? There. So you just put it somewhere in your project, your Noodle project folder, and then you can access it from, say you get a JavaScript library that you load into your project, and then you can just use a function to pull that JSON, and maybe you have a group and use the this output from the group to get the DOM object or whatever it is, and then convert it into a Lottie div. That could be one way to do it. Anyway, so it doesn't give you a huge amount of options, is what I was trying to say, and so it was a little bit disappointing, but for what I was trying to do, it was fine, and it works. You don't have a huge amount of stuff you can do with it, but it does work. So when you click play, it switches between a group. So I couldn't find a nice Lottie animation that was just like a flat line, so I just did like a group with a 2-3 pixel border, that's dotted border, and just to make it look like it's not playing. And then when you hit play, it swaps out the groups. So it doesn't look fabulous, but it works, and it does the kind of UX that I wanted it to do. And so that's playing a stream from, where the heck is it? Here, I guess. It's playing a stream here from the one that was provided by the radio station. And this is a script that was developed by the Noodle AI, I think. Either the Noodle AI or ChatGPT, something like that. But did a pretty good job. Just using basic audio.play, whatever it was. Just using basic JavaScript audio to play and stop. So it's cool because it works pretty well on my friend's phone, where he can put it on in his browser, and he can put the phone to sleep, and it keeps playing in the background because it thinks it's playing in like an MP3. It thinks it's just playing a song. He did report that it cuts off after a certain amount of time. So that's like the first bug report that I would have to fix is, okay, what is it? Is it something about maybe background data refresh or background data usage on the phone, that after a certain amount of time it cuts off, or from inactivity or something like that. So might need to package it in a capacitor app that would be able to keep the audio running in the background. I'm not exactly sure. If you guys have any thoughts on that, I'd be very happy to know about it. And then the other thing that you can get from the API, they have a separate endpoint that is for getting the playlist. So it fetches a list of songs, and the first song is the 0 item is the one that is currently playing, and that you have the title and the artist, and there's an image as well. I didn't put in the image because there isn't always an image, but I could have put in the image as well. That would have been cool. But you can see that quite a lot of them don't have images, so it just you end up with just a bunch of broken image links because it's not a very good stream, not a very good radio station. Anyway, you get that song list. I take out the 0th item and make that the current song, and then there's a what does this do? String formatter. Oh yeah, just in case there's no art. Sometimes there's no artist as well, so I did this little component that makes it either artist dash title, or just makes it just the artist with nothing else. So either the string or the no artists, which is just with the title of the song. Because sometimes it comes through with no artist, and so you end up with a dash at the beginning with nothing, but nothing behind it. So just make sure that the text of the text of the playlist comes out right for the first song, which is up here, the one that's currently playing. And then the song list goes into a repeater, and the repeater just pulls out the artist title and image if there is one, but doesn't actually use the image, and then does the same component that composes the song title, just in case there's no artist, and then puts up the time, because you have the time that the track was played in Unix time. And so you, again, another, I think this was Noodle AI. This was directly made by Noodle AI. So there you go. Please give me a function that takes a Unix time, converts it to a string 1 minute ago or 10 minutes ago. So it does a really good job of that. And you can see the results are pretty good. It even went as far as doing hours as well. I can't remember what it produced, hours and days as well. So just in case, it made days as well. Didn't go as far as months and years, but I could have also asked it to do that. That would have been fine. And then this one is just if it's the current song. How does that work? Yeah, it mounts the current icon. It mounts the icon if the song index is 1, then it just outputs on direct, which means live in French, and then outputs show icon true, and so it just means I can show that little red sort of live icon and the text. So that's just a little trick, a little visual trick that works very well, because they don't actually tell you, there's not that information in the API. They don't say song list, current song, previous song, something like that. It's just chronologic, whatever the highest one is the one that's currently playing. So there's a couple of things that don't work with this. For example, you can see that the last song was 29 minutes ago. It means that I think this is because the API doesn't refresh, so I would need to have a delay, maybe every 10 seconds a delay that runs and refreshes the API. That would mean that we'd have a fully up-to-date list. Otherwise we can just refresh the page and you get a new list. But I didn't put in a refresh function, but that's pretty much it. So he was happy. That's all he wanted this for, was just to play the radio. So there's no back end. It's just using an API. It's just a really nice static front end site using an API. And it took I think an hour and a quarter or something to build from end to end. So thought that was a cool project. So if anyone has any questions about it, or if anybody has decided to come and present something, drop me a message. Can't hear my voice. That would be a big problem. If you couldn't hear my voice this whole time, I'm going to cry. Can anybody hear me? That's terrible. That's bad. You really had me. Oh man. Okay, cool. All I hear is music. Oh, you've got to join the event. I think you're in the waiting room. Ah, jeez. Because it just you scared me, Matt. Because the last time I actually had a lot of trouble getting my voice, to getting the audio to work on the meeting. So yeah. Anyway, hey Fred. Hey Bimba. Hey everybody. How's it going? I think Danny, you were already here before. Good to see you guys. So yeah, I was presenting that just to get us going, but I'm hoping that one of you guys has something to present. I hope Fred has some cool new Google Firebase thing to present or something, or Bimba, if you have anything to present as well, just let me know. Oh yeah, that's I think he's gonna go out and come back in. So yeah, just drop a message whenever you want to take the mic. He's in the wind. Fred is as fast as the wind. That's how fast he develops stuff, it seems like. So yeah, when you guys want to present something, please just let me know. I don't want to take the stage the whole time. Just even a component. Like I'll present a component and it'll inspire you guys, and then you'll think, yeah, I don't have to present my whole project and don't have to give away all my secrets. I'll just present a component. All right. So yeah, this is a basic thing. This is a component I've used in several projects so far. And I think I talked about it in the Discord, and I put it into the Noodle Noob handbook, but I haven't really talked about it that much specifically in a presentation before. So one of the problems I had with LearnBook was I want to have a flexible database I'm kind of setting it up for future proofing, where I want it to be as flexible as possible. So I'll give you an example. In my section class, which is so LearnBook is an LMS, a learning management system. There's lessons. Each lesson has sections. Each section has messages. So in the sections, I know there is a relation field that's called has messages, and this is whenever someone adds a message to a section, I want it to be in a relation so that I can say, okay, show me all the messages where they have a relation with this section. But I also wanted to show like a list of messages or like order of messages or something like that. I was kind of just thinking, the LearnBook has been such a long project. I was like, I need to have all my bases covered, even if I never use one of the fields. Like I just want to have all my bases covered. So I made an array field called messages that essentially is the same, that has an array like this. So it's kind of like most of the data from a message. Not all, I don't think, but most of the data from a message that I would need to kind of display the message quickly, not have to go through fishing out relations all the time. So if I just want to like really quickly show the text of the messages, for example, I don't have to go through the database to get it. I can just show it here. Now, this is not a good idea because it means that you have this problem with, what do they call that? Data consistency, something like that. Where if I update a relation, say I add a message in the relations here, right? If somebody edits that message, it'll be edited in the relation, because if you go and like fetch the relation, it'll fetch the most recent version of the message from the relation. But in here, it's not going to update here. If the text of the message changes, it won't update in the array field. So the array field really should only be used as kind of a static. I think I don't use it. I'm pretty sure I don't use it for the actual text. And I think this is just something I need to make more concise. I use it mostly for like the order of the message or like when it was created, things that don't really change, but like the text changes. So this would mean that you could be pulling a message from the relation that has different text than the message you have in your array field. So not good practice. But it's, like I said, just something I wanted to have, like the objects at least with like the order of the message, or like does it have any replies, or is it complete, or things that in theory don't change very much, or like complete to true or false could change just one time. So maybe I go change the relation, but also go and find any sections that are related to the message and change their arrays as well, something like that. Pull out the array, mutate it, put it back in, something like that. So anyway, just to say, this is the kind of class where I have a relation field, and I'll give you an example where in LearnBook you can duplicate sections. So you can say, oh, I used this section before, it worked really well. I'm going to like copy paste it and use it for a different group of learners in my learning management system. So you're going to duplicate the section. You're also going to duplicate the messages, for example. What you don't want is to use the same message twice. You don't want to like create the relation with the same message. You want to create new messages. So I'm going to create, say there's 10 messages in this section. I'm going to create 10 new messages, and then I'm going to add 10 relations to the new section that I've just copied. It's just an example of where I have to kind of bulk add multiple messages to one section. And so that at the moment is not possible. You have a add record relation node. It runs on one relation at a time. And of course it has to do a call to the database to do that. So if you put this through a run task node and say, okay, I've got 10 tasks to run. Each one of them is using one add relation node or like call. Then you're going to run that 10 times. And so it's going to be, it's on the front end. You can do it in the back end as well, but it's still going to call the API 10 times. So it's going to take 200 milliseconds times 10. So you're going to be like 2 seconds to add 10 messages. It doesn't sound like a lot, but like if that's chained up with a whole bunch of other things, create, add the relations, create the lesson, create the section, add the relations, then that creates quite a lot of time, quite a lot of delay, right? So that's not something I wanted to use for this kind of thing. And imagine one day if there's like 100 messages in a section, I don't know, that's not a good idea. So what I did was create this front end component. It's called bulk add relations, which I can drop on whatever page. Bulk add relations. So what I did was in that component, I added states with all of the different classes in my database that I use to make relations. So only the ones that are about relations, that have relation fields. And it means that from outside I can pick what the parent to child class that I'm targeting, so that would be messages. The parent class that's from the record that I'm trying to update, which would be section. And then the parent relation field, which has messages. So with that, an add relation, it takes the data that I just put in, it takes the ID of the parent that I'm targeting, so the section that I'm targeting. It takes an array of children, so that's either an array of objects like records, so just like what I had in my has messages array field, I could just put that into those array children, or it's just an array of IDs. So it's just an array of strings, comma separated strings that are just the IDs of the children that we want to add into the relations. And then it goes to cloud function because obviously, it goes to cloud function, not obviously, for a reason, because what we're going to do is we're going to do a direct API call to we're going to do a direct API call to the cloud services backend. So this only works with Noodle Cloud Services, obviously. So I'm showing you Noodle Cloud Services. But this is something I learned from Michael Tellhead back in the days, that you have these kind of like global variables in the cloud service, like _noodle _cloud services .endpoint. It automatically accesses the app ID, master key, and endpoint. So you don't have to like manually type them into the cloud service when you're doing this. But it means you can actually make a direct API call and fully use the Parse API endpoints that exist in Parse version 4.14 or whatever it is that they were using when they set up the cloud service. So doing this means that you can, because in Parse there is actually an endpoint that says you can add, where the heck is it? So this it's this one, I think. Yeah, child relation operation type. So you tell the endpoint that you want to create a pointer on a pointer field, child class name. What was it? Yeah, object ID, and then the body of the request is whatever the relation key is, which is the parent relation field. So in this case, has messages, and we say the operation type, which is either add relations or remove relations. There's only those two options. And then the objects is an array of pointers. So you can see how it's working with creating like a whole big array of pointers for each child. So if I've sent an array of comma separated strings of object IDs, then it's going to create 10 of these objects with the ID, class name is message, and the ID would be whatever the first, second, third message is. And then it pumps that into this body of the request, and then sends that to the endpoint to add the relations. And then what that does is that creates 10, that basically tells Parse, okay, here are all the relations that you need to put in that relations field. So instead of having to do add relation, it does add relations, like here's a whole bunch, put them all in at the same time. Now that's cool, except it's not, because it adds in, what was the problem with it? I can't remember if it overrides the existing relations in there, or if it just kind of randomly adds them on at the end. And it means that there was some problem with it, I can't remember what it was, like if you already have relations in there, it like doubles them up, or you can't really tell if they've really been added or not. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, the solution for it was, and maybe this isn't the best, so if you find a better way, I'm very happy to hear about it. But the way to do it was to do a function where we get all the children, and I think this was what we did. If operations add, yeah. So it was we get all the children that are currently on that record. So we first say, hey, give me all the relations, give me all the everything in the relations field, and then we remove them all, and then we add them all. So they remove them all, and then we add all the list of the full list of that we sent to the back end. It was something like, and now I'm confusing myself, or was it that we add I can't remember if there was a way that I used as well. There's two different ways. Either you're replacing everything and completely replacing the list of relations, or you're tacking on a whole bunch of relations to the end of the relation field. And I can't remember which one is which, but anyway, there are complications with this whole thing, and that's why it's really messy, and there's like 4 different failure points that I was testing to try to figure out exactly why it was failing, because it's going through like 2 or 3 different calls just to be able to add the relations. But it worked, and like, this is me, completely stupid JavaScripter, can't do anything by myself, so I'm sure and certain that somebody would take this code and make it better to be able to do this more efficiently. And yeah, it's a pain in the ass that we have to do this to get the these kind of workarounds shouldn't have to exist. We should be allowed to add multiple relations with nodes in the front end, but we can't. So this is just quite a complex and not fail-proof system that I use in LearnBook to do bulk adding. But it's really important for me because it's a core part of this whole platform, that you're able to create a whole bank of content and resources for your teaching job, and then that you can duplicate them so you don't have to create them again every time. So it's one of the core tenets of this whole thing, is like, create your stuff once in LearnBook, and then you'll just have to click copy paste, and you can just change the names, and it'll be really easy to run your online lessons in the future. So anyway, just thought I would show it. I think the main thing I wanted to show was that it is possible to actually make any kind of regular Parse API call, as long as it's compatible with Parse 4.14. That you can make any kind of call you want using this this little hack. You can really use the full power of the Parse backend, not just with the Noodle nodes, but completely customized by yourself as well. So I hope that was interesting. And if anyone has any questions about that, please drop them in, or if any brave person would like to actually present something, that would be ideal. Because I think I'm out of stuff to present. I don't think all my other projects at the moment are like client projects, and they're all kind of top secret stuff. So I don't have anything else in particular to present. I will have something in a couple of weeks, because I'm working on another app for a client that's could be she's probably happy to make public. So it's like a quiz app that I'm trying to figure out at the moment, with asking people questions about their diet and their exercise routines, sleep routines and stuff like that, and then trying to like do branching conditional logic to lead them to a particular health program with the client that I'm working with, who will then be managing the health program. So yeah, come on, somebody, anybody, what have you got? There must be something interesting you're working on. It's the time to show it. Nobody's judging you. I also thought about showing, well, there's one thing I could show, maybe completely uninteresting, but who knows, is I signed up to Fluxscape. Does anybody use Fluxscape yet? Anybody use Fluxscape yet? Does anybody like Fluxscape? What do you think about it? Did you try it out? Do you want to come on and talk about Fluxscape and your experience? Don't be shy. You guys are way too quiet today. So if you want, if you go to fluxscape.io, you can't really figure out how to get into it. If you go to app.fluxscape.io, you can actually sign up already. So it's a little hack to get in if you want to. I think also if you download the Fluxscape editor, it also gives you the sign up thing in the Fluxscape editor, so you don't really need my hack, but it's just one little tip. So you know that Fluxscape is the new Noodle editor, the new fork of Noodle, and we're just about to have a look at it. If it opens up, it doesn't embarrass me. So same as Code Crusher at the moment, there's not that much difference. It's mostly the difference in the back end. So luckily all projects are still compatible with Fluxscape. You know, if you have a Noodle project or a Code Crusher project, it's still compatible. We haven't really branched off that much that there's like intercompatibility problems between the different editors. Oh yeah, you can have access to my documents, no problem. So yeah, I created a basic app just to try it out because they have this cool new deploy tab where you get this kind of mini web interface that shows you what's going on with your deployments. Now the where is it? That's the back end part. Oh, is it here? No, you have to add a cloud service. My bad. So you can create a cloud service. You can create a front end where it gives you like a custom domain, like a random domain for fluxscape.app. You can create a cloud service, and you can create a deployment. The front end is just for you to deploy the project files to. The cloud service is so that you can let's see. There we go. So you got your endpoint, you got your app ID, and you got your master key. So just copy and paste all that stuff into the cloud services panel. You can get access to your cloud service. So just like simple rigs, but kind of a lot prettier, I have to say. And then the deployment is a combination of a front and back end. So once you create a deployment, then you get access in the deploy screen to that. And if you have a new version of the app, you just have to click on the deployment that you're targeting and then click deploy. It pushes all the project files to that deployment and auto deploys to the front end and auto deploys to cloud service backend as well. So it means that makes it super duper easy to push from the editor. You don't have to, in the regular Code Crusher and Noodle, you have to deploy to a folder on your computer. You have to do git initialization and git push from like a commit from your computer, and then sign up to something like Vercel that can do the pipeline to take stuff from GitHub to a deployed web app. And you would have to use a separate backend like Simple Rix or whatever. You can use a Docker on your computer, or you can use your own Docker server as a backend. So it's a bit of it's a lot more steps to have to do that than just clicking on the button deploy. So they really reignited what the original Noodle was doing with deployment from the deploy screen. If you just arrived in Noodle, this is what we used to have. We used to have a Noodle deployment screen, a Noodle deployment tab, and a self-hosting tab. So they've brought back the concept of the paid version of the deployment that you can just do a one-click deployment. So far so good. It's really cool, and I've seen some of the updates they've been doing to the backend. They're actually using Parse 7 for the backend, which is nice because it means it's safer. Parse 4.14, which is what is being used in the regular Noodle open source backend, is really old, and it's got lots of security vulnerabilities. It's not to say people could just hack you, but it's to say it has security vulnerabilities. So if you want to be super safe and you're in production app at the moment, Fluxscape is the best choice, or using something like Supabase or Directus or whatever. But that's the state of play at the moment, is that if you want to use the Noodle backend, it's Fluxscape that has the most modern backend. I would like to update the backend myself, but I just don't have the coding skills that they have on the Fluxscape team. So that's where we're at today. So any questions about Fluxscape? Anyone want to share their Fluxscape experience? I still feel like people just can't hear me. If you guys aren't replying that much, you're actually lying and you can't even hear me. I'm just talking into the wind. But then Fred is the wind. Come on, Fred. Does anybody have anything they want to share? Talk about Fluxscape? Oh, Fred. Everyone's building. What if you did not only show and tell but workshop when there's not much to show? Yeah, I can. That's true. You make a good point. I did think about that as well because I don't have that much to show today. So I will definitely do that next time, Fred. That's a promise. Hi, Dan. Nice of you to join us. Yeah, we did a survey a while ago. I can't remember what the results were. It was ages ago. Yeah, I'll do another survey. That's a good idea. We'll talk about what people would like to see. I think a lot of people are probably going to want to see backend integration. I've seen so many questions at the moment about Supabase integration. You know, the Supabase prefab is a bit basic, so it's hard to do all the CRUD stuff. Oh, cool. Yogesh has tried Fluxscape and it's very easy to set up and use. Yeah, I found the same. Very, very quick and easy. So Bimba doesn't have a project like mine, but you have a simple project. Of course, Bimba, you can show your project with great pleasure. Let me just give you the mic. It's all yours. Where are you? There. I'm inviting you to speak, so you just got to accept it. Take the mic. Hey. I can't hear you yet, I don't think.
Simple project though.
Oh crap. Hang on. Just give me a sec.
Where to show the screen?
Okay, let's try that again. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't share the screen.
Oh. What? Is it throwing an error or something?
Share.
Oh, yeah, I can see. It's coming. Yeah, nice.
It's showing it?
Yes.
Okay. That's a Noodle database website.
Cool. That's nice.
Originals and the translations. These are the genres, वगैरह. If you can click on it, it will filter in. However, I have this. Yeah, not much complex, but a simple project. You can just genres and languages, public platforms, yeah, and status is ongoing, dropped, completed. It will filter it through it. 13 and yeah. Mm, the backend is the way that directors. What's the live project too?
Nice. So how did you? So can I ask you a couple of questions about it? The tags at the top. Where are you pulling the tag list from? Is that coming from the directors database, or do you have just a static array of tags that you use?
For I'm using the directors, pulling the tags and the old hold of data. I reads. It will show you the reads. Yeah, एक minute.
So like where the at the top the list of filters, like where did the filters actually where are you pulling the list from? The different filters at the top.
Yeah, it's actually I can. I'm not familiar with this.
Okay,
Showing and explanation.
no worries.
Folders directory. Explore folder. Filters. Yeah,
Whoa.
this
Okay.
one.
What the heck
Explore.
is going on here? That's a lot of nodes.
This is yeah. This whole filter thing is working on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you click on this one is the genre,
Yeah.
and I'm using this one array
Okay. So it's like
filtered genre.
like a static array. Like you type the different um the different filters. You've typed them out in the array yourself.
Yeah. This one. Yeah. If you click on this one, genre. I'm not ready to equally. I can show the only overview of this, not the detailed explanation of all
No
this.
worries. No worries.
It's the genre, versions, tags, whole. This one pages. These are the pages. These are the separate pages.
Mm-hmm.
If you click on this will take you the language page. This one,
Okay.
and in here language. Yeah.
So it's cool. What I've always found difficult with this kind of system of having an array of filters, because I have the same thing with LearnBook. I have arrays of filters that correspond to object or like filter IDs that are attached to the books. So I guess I'm always interested to know. Maybe you don't have the explanation because it seems actually quite complex after what you said. But how do you do the filtering of the actual items? Where are the filter tags stored on the books? Is there an array on the books, like an array field that has the tags in it, or how do you filter them?
Yeah. That's the I'm using the GraphQL
Ah,
mostly,
okay.
but not the REST API. Anyways, this is the filter box. This one.
Mm-hmm.
This one. If you click on this will erase the whole of it.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. This one is the array.
Okay. Ah, yes, so you've put an ID. So there is actually an ID attached to each array
Yeah.
item. Yeah.
Value changed, and this will run this function.
Mm-hmm.
Input. Yeah. This will modify the GraphQL
Mm-hmm.
string, no empty string. Yeah, this is the GraphQL
Ah, okay. So you build
query.
the GraphQL query from the different arrays and the mutations.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
GraphQL query. This one. This will the final GraphQL query
Mm-hmm.
with the sort offset limit. Limit is 21. This is the default limit I'm using in the directors application function. This is a. It will be the resulted query back. Oh, this will be responses, version, publication date, year, cover image, URL, title, genres.
Yeah, nice. What made you choose GraphQL instead of RESTs?
Because it's more easier, to I can see the whole data structure of it.
Hmm.
It's much easier to query, make, modify, and create. In REST Q API, I have to, guess it if this is working or not.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, so GraphQL helps you to kind of centralize everything and make it easier to pass the queries.
Yeah, yeah.
Fred would
And in
like.
here, it's a whole just a. Have you used GoodReads
Yes, I have.
in the Kindle? Yeah, it's a kind of a similar to that GoodReads. If you pull the add to list, it will put you. It will search your whole list. If you have not no list, it will direct you to the create list. It's new description. It can be empty tags action.
So Fred would like to know
Mm.
how did you style these drop downs, because they're really beautiful drop downs. How did you these aren't the standard.
This one.
Yeah, it's not the standard drop down from Noodle. I guess you made your own drop downs.
Yeah, I have made this personally
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not familiar with the HTML, but yeah, it's much more easier and customizable. Yeah, this one maybe content search results search. I haven't opened this in a whole while.
That's okay.
Content. I would be, if you ask more questions about this, I can show exactly what to show. I'm more familiar with this, but you are not.
Okay.
Can articulate the
Yeah.
whatever it is.
But I mean, the thing that answers
Yeah.
Fred's question is that it's a custom drop down. So you've created a content group, you've got repeaters inside it, so you're styling it entirely custom.
Hmm.
It's really nice as well. No, it's great. The style,
It
the
will be the your.
design is great.
Yeah, it's my personally. I've designed this UI and UX
Mm-hmm.
from start to end. Right, this will be the yeah. It will be a cover image. It can be a cover image. I mean, your notes. This one. If you have a note, if you want to, remember it uh, for your future self.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad. Let's say,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
don't read it for your future self if you
Yeah.
are living a. Let's create it. Let's create it. Yeah. Yeah. It's my list. It will show your the following what you are following this. Currently, this user doesn't have any following this. My user. It will differentiate between all public, private. Yeah. For this differentiation of it, all public, private, I'm using your status in the directors or published, archived, or what
Okay.
was that? Draft. Huh.
Yeah, you're using the directly
For
the.
draft, it's yeah, yeah. For the draft, if you have set it to a draft, then will be the private. In the directors, I have set it to the in the rules. I can show you the directors currently. It will. I've forgotten the password actually.
That's okay. Yeah, but it's using the native draft and published statuses of directives,
Yeah,
just doing
yeah.
things private or public. Yeah.
But you can actually customize that. They just got to know that if you can just actually you can customize that if you want if you want to rename that draft to actually the private. You can also do the write it as a rewrite it as private in the directors one.
Nice. Very nice. And so, what's the status of the project? Just
Yeah.
to finish off, like, is this released? Is it released to the public? Are you going to make a mobile app, or what is the current status of it?
Currently it's just a internal app type. If you have searched it on Google, you can it will show you at the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good SEO, but it's actually if you can. Hey, can you please search it in the Google?
Yeah, sure.
I can show it in a.
What am I searching
Just
for?
search Eon list.
Eon list.
Eon list.
Yeah,
Just Eon
eonlist.app.
list.
I've got it. Novels directory. Support eonlist on Patreon.
I- Are you seeing this description of its support Eon list or whatever it is and Eon list 2424? This one. I can set it to the H1 H2. Wait a minute. I've tried to H1 H2 but we have sent it on the Discord
Mm-hmm.
app. Yeah, H1 H2. Yeah,
Ah, cool. Okay, that's clever.
Eon list is not.
Ah, okay.
But
I didn't think
it's
about that.
not catching the. Yeah, but the Google is not catching this H1 H2. It's just completely ignoring this
Yeah.
and going straight to the this footer, this useless
Oh,
thing.
okay. Yeah, I can see it says support Eon List on Patreon. Beware of old men in a profession where men die young. Copyright Eon List 2024. So yeah, it's not
That's
really.
a
Yeah.
quote of it.
Hmm. Okay.
Not useful for user viewers, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Ah,
You have the there is an API in Noodle for setting kind of like with JavaScript setting the different um SEO values, or you can just put
I've
it
tried it.
directly in the head code.
Yes,
Yeah, it
yes.
doesn't work.
Not really much helping it, if I have to be honest.
Okay. Okay.
But it does, it's showing it, but not in the Google Search Console.
Hmm. That's good. I'm looking at it right
This is
now.
the.
It's really it seems really complete. Your app.
Mm, it's a complete project though.
It's great.
I've just launched it, but I was planning to turn it into an app, but currently it's too complex for me to use the Cordova, sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
There's also a search function if you have to search it within your list, your
Yeah.
new list. Let's say you can, yeah, it will only search on your within your list,
Mm-hmm.
this one list.
Okay.
And there are the tags of it, images. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
It's nice.
And it's also a chart.js in the Noodle modules.
Nice.
Using this, it will show you, these are the tags of it. This one, and this one. It will combine it and then show you the different flavors of what you have in this list.
Ah, clever.
Actions to adventures to whatever it is. And yeah, this is the date created, last updated, user, which user have created it.
It's really nice.
That's it. Yeah, it's the user profile, gender, location, whatever. I have written it, whatever comes to mind.
Yeah.
Don't mind them.
Sure. Nice.
Public list, and yeah, one thing I have to tell, it's the list. No, sorry, it was the rating. Yeah, rating. Uh, you can rate it as 1 star, 3 star, 4 star. Let's say 2 star. Save it, and it will directly update it.
This
Rated
is a
successfully.
component that
If
you
you have
made
to
yourself, huh?
edit them. Yeah. It's in the within this Noodle prefab. Sorry, If you have to modify them, you can click this, increase or see the directly 1 star. You can save this, add 1 star. Uh,
Looking good.
Bookmark. These are the bookmarks. Will read, reading, volumes. Out of 4 volumes, you have read 1 volume. Save it, and it will show this.
Is this some more chart.js stuff there?
This will no. Is I just made this thing.
Okay.
This is a component.
Okay.
It's a total.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the total.
With
This
width and
read.
height.
I
Yeah.
yeah. Maximum width. I'm controlling this.
Yeah.
Uh, rounding this off whatever comes to value 1,
Yeah.
and result whatever
That's really clever.
25,
That's great.
and related series just regression. Yeah, it's also this. If I have to cancel this, if there's a wrong information on here, whatever is if it's not available in the is Amazon Audible or Kindle Unlimited links to other directories, the user can also adjust this correction if it's wrong or missing tags. I've this one information to correctly this section name is if it's the gender or the tags or the for publication platforms missing information. Let's say I can write whatever it is. I'm not actually there's no filter to check this if the user writing this right or wrong. It's just posted on the table in the directors. Director information, whatever it is. I just say submit. Submitted, and actually I have to refresh this, and yeah, not showing one.
Nice.
I can also like this, but I can't dislike this.
Okay. Not yet.
You can only like this.
Yeah.
Write a review. You can also whatever it is. Good review. Just if it's a spoiler or not, you can also set it as if this review contains a spoiler, you can upload this review created. It's not showing here. Looks like I have to uh, refresh. Yeah,
Nice.
this one. If this is the spoiler, you can click on this, then it will show this best 5 or whatever it is. These are the ratings at the time of writing this. You can also upvote it or downvote it. It's too complex. Too complex. Uh, I was experiencing at that time because you can only upvote it or downvote it at the same time. You can upvote it and downvote it at the same time. I mean, um,
Wow. This you were saying your app's not complex, but every page you're showing is like amazingly complex.
complex in the sense I'm just using simply GraphQL REST API and not the directors prefab. That was it's using the SDK, but I'm not familiar with that much. I'm too familiar with the GraphQL and the REST API, but not the SDKs. Oh, I find it complex. Maybe it's me, just me. Maybe.
I've not tried to use
Review.
the GraphQL version yet, so I've only just started using the SDK with the prefab, so it seems easy enough for the moment.
Yeah, maybe it's true. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the data just response of it. Whether it's true or not, true or false. Voting function, count, rating.
Fred's question
Maybe
is
I can't explain.
Fred's asked the
Yeah.
question, how long did it take to build it?
This whole thing.
Yeah.
Um, if I have to say, from the designing or the just this
I guess it's
noodle only noodle.
yeah,
Yeah,
just
फिर
the noodle part, I guess. Yeah.
just the noodle. I would say a whole month,
Just a
completely
month.
without rest.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Okay, without
without rest.
rest.
Not
Okay, got you.
that's
Yeah.
that's the terms and condition.
Yeah, I can believe that.
The
Okay.
hidden.
Yeah. Okay.
But
That's great.
UI and UX, it took me maybe another 1 month to think and design this.
Hmm.
If it's a list, if I should put list or not, add to list here or not. Too many thinking. Put it in here. Add to list. So also I have this feature key. If you have already put it on the list, it will show you only this. If you have what you have not put in the list. If there's no list to put in this, then it will show you the create it or cancel it. My This is the user's own list. These are the followings. If you are wondering on this, text delete. These are the 3 second. There's a 3 second delay if you have if you cancel it, it will not delete it. But yeah, kind of maybe you useless thinking on this delete button. Yeah, delete button.
Okay, so like if you
Loading.
accidentally
Shape.
click delete, you have a
Delete
few
start.
seconds to cancel your decision.
Accidentally, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's cool. That's
Maybe
clever.
because of that.
Yeah,
3 second delay.
some nice UX.
1, 2, 3. Before that, this one 2.23 seconds.
Yeah.
If you want to edit it, it will also redirect your editing. One more thing, if I have to say this, 1 minute. Wait a minute. Create. I'm using the same component to create or edit it. You
Okay.
know, this whole this whole the details data whatever it is, whenever you edit it, it won't actually edit the data in the backend. It will just rewrite it.
Oh,
It will just delete the existing data. It will create the with the same details of it, with the same novels, number of novels, with the same note. Uh, because
is that a
if I
GraphQL
have
thing,
to
or what's the reason behind that?
reason behind is the same. It will be too complex to search exactly whatever this note thingy. Yeah, note. If I have to say, this is the what takes me a whole week to actually think through this. The note. I'm using the GraphQL, but to actually update the thing, uh, yeah, it will run at the time of when the user update when the user just click this update button, update or create button. Only then with I'm using the repeater, one two. It will run only when this. I cannot articulate this whatever I'm saying. I have to apologize on
No, it's
that.
okay.
First of all, I'm too flustered.
No problem. It's been a very big presentation
Okay.
so far, so it's really impressive. Matt was saying it seems an incredible amount of complexity for just 1 month. So I think everybody's very impressed with the
Yeah, yeah.
complexity here.
Are you seeing this text thing?
Yeah.
Status novel. This is actually the GraphQL query.
Okay.
It will turn in the JSON. What is function? It will create it no object.
Mm-hmm.
Object. Maybe I forgot whatever it is.
It's okay.
It's a
No
2 months
worries.
maybe
Yeah.
when I've created this whole component.
Yeah. That's cool. Huh? I'm gonna have to run, but this has been a really interesting presentation. Maybe we can prepare more for another presentation in the future when you've got your public release and you
Yeah,
want to talk about how you built it and how you succeeded in making this app. But
Of course.
it's been a really good presentation. Thank you very much. I take it your name is Bimba or not? It's just a screen name.
No, that's just screen name.
Sorry. Okay, what's
It's
your real name?
Dishant.
Sorry,
Dishan.
Dashan.
Uh, Dishant. Yes, Dishant.
Dashan. Okay, well, thank you very much for this presentation, Dashan. It was really interesting. I think everybody really
Okay.
enjoyed that. And yeah, Fred's saying a bit lost. We
Uh,
need to. We will have a more in depth presentation, maybe of some specific components another time. But yeah, I think
of course.
what Ice Dynamics said is true, which is it shows how powerful Noodle can be. You can really do so much with Noodle that you to go to an incredible level of complexity. So yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
it's it's too much freedom, you know.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have
you
the
can. It is a little bit.
creators have the freedom for it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You can make things that are
Okay.
maybe too complex or that are
Uh,
a little bit crazy. Yeah, but it's good. I think it's really interesting. I'd
and
be interested to see
there's
more.
there's also thing I forgot to show this. You can also switch the view of it.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
maybe it's a small thing,
that's cool.
you
That's
know.
nice to be able to
The
switch views.
this
It's cool.
switching the view. Yeah.
Yeah. Fred is wondering, is there any impact on speed? I guess you can go and try it out, Fred, and you can find out. You look at how much RAM the tab is using, and look at how long it takes for maybe in the network tab, how long it takes for a request to go and come back, and just from your user experience, does it feel like it's taking a long time when things are loading or coming back? So I think that would be I would go and try it if I were you to see what the speed is like. But that's all I've got time for today. So thank you very much again, Dashan. That was really interesting,
Okay.
and
Thanks.
really appreciate you
Thanks.
presenting. And thanks for. I know it takes a lot of effort to present something that complex. So thank you for making the effort to do that.
Like, I was hesitating first if I have to show or not. If the and first of all, I'm too flustered actually. What to show, what not to show, and what to explain.
Yeah, I'll
It's
be,
a whole month when I make this whole project.
yeah, it's good, but it's good. And I
It's
think
been
next
a
time we can maybe decide on one particular part of the app that you want to show, some particular component that you made that was, a particular challenge you overcame with the app, and we can focus on just one thing. But yeah, I think everybody would love to see more of this app because it looks like a really interesting, complex example of a Noodle app. So we really appreciate your time and the effort you made presenting it. Thank you very much.
okay.
So thanks
Can I
everybody.
cancel this?
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining today, and I really enjoyed it. And let's meet again in a couple of weeks for another Noodle Show and Tell. Bye, guys.